Today I'm going to be showing you how I make the latest design that I've come up with, and I've named Elizabeth. This is the Elizabeth, the mini compact bag. If you follow me, you might have already made one or two of my designs, hopefully, fingers crossed. The design before this was called the Evelyn. I made the Annika bag, compact bag, and the Evelyn compact bag. Now the Evelyn bag I've kept for myself. I've made quite a few of them now, but I've kept one for myself, which is in autumn colours. I'll get you it here. This is my one. So I've made this, and I understand that not everybody has larger hoops, because this was made in a 6x10 hoop, all made in the hoop if you don't already know. So I made a design for a 4x4 hoop. Obviously I can't make it as big as this because this is a lot bigger, but I have managed to make it so that if you have got a bigger hoop and you have already made this, you might like to make this one as well, because this one can hold your ID cards, some cash, some change, and you can shove it in your back pocket in your jeans. So this, I've also found out that this actually fits in the phone pocket here. Let me get it in. There we go, it's in. So might be a nice addition to your compact bags. So this is called the Elizabeth bag. So this has got the flap. It takes 3 hoops, 3 hoop ins, and the third hoop adds the flap and the bank cards section. So you've got your front flap, you've got a card section here. I've put some notes in there as well. You've got a pocket inside here for change, and also on the back there's a clear window to put your ID. I've got my vaccination card in mine, and this is actually what I'm using right now. So I've already done a couple of the steps, but I'm going to go through them again just to show you how easy and how quick the design is. It should take you no longer than 30 minutes to complete it. So in one of the steps, in step 3, you will need some clear stabiliser. I get my stabiliser from Dunelm in the UK. It's sold as a clear table protector, and it's quite cheap. It's about £3.99 for a metre, and their drops are very, they're good. You get quite a lot for your money. So when you're using a 4x4 hoop, you don't really actually use that much, but I would suggest getting some clear vinyl, not water soluble stabiliser, not stuff that melts in water, none of that. You need clear vinyl, which is, I've already got a hoop ready, but it's clear. See, I don't know what the gauge is. It's quite thick, but it's not too thick. Right, okay, so let's get on with this design. So I'm going to say goodbye to you now, because you're not going to see my face again, ha ha ha, and you're just going to watch what I do to make this design. So I'm going to focus in on the hoop now, and hopefully you'll see how easy the design is. Okay, let's move you down and tighten it up, focus in on the hoop. Now, because you can't see my hoop right now, I am going to turn this light on up here. You should be able to see. Right, so first of all, the first step in hoop 1 is the outline of the flap. You're not going to be hooping any materials in this design at all. I've pre-cut all of my pieces of felt. I've got 3 pieces of brown felt, and I've got 3 pieces of leatherette, and this is quite soft. I don't know if you call it marine vinyl, but this is upholstery leather. This is leatherette, and this is, it's sort of like it's quite soft, and it's sort of fluffy back. It's got a fluffy back to it, like a felt backing. So we're going to put I'm going to put the printed design on the front, and I'm going to put a piece of felt underneath. So I'm going to show you what I do is I just line my felt up underneath like that, and then I lay the vinyl over the top and then just stitch it down. And that is the where the cam snap will go. There's only 2 steps to this part, and that's the flap. So we'll cut that out and get on with the next part. The next part also requires just a normal piece of stabilizer. Let's give it a bit of room. I've got matching bobbin and top thread in this design. Okay, so now we go on to part 2. Which is the card section. And again, I need to stitch out the outline. And with this step, the vinyl goes on first, and the vinyl gets stitched down, and it stitches out the card slots. That's the first one. that's the second one, and it will do the snap placement now. Now you need to take your craft knife, this is my one, and you need to cut out the parts where the cards go in now. You cut it out before the felt backing is added, otherwise you will cut through your felt. So you do it while it's in the hoop. Carefully, be very careful not to cut through your stitches. Turn the hoop over and add your felt backing. I recommend taping this in place so that it doesn't move when you're sewing it down. And sew the two pieces together. I've added an extra step to this design, but you don't stitch out. I've just added it there to take the needle to the top right hand corner and stay there. Otherwise, if you stitch it out, it will stitch out the couple of stitches, no problem, but it will bring the needle into the back and you risk catching your pocket, your card slots that you've just cut out. So don't stitch it out. Okay, so now we're going to get on to the vinyl section, which is the clear pocket. So the clear pocket goes on the clear vinyl, and we stitch that out, which is number 3. Embroidery. So you stitch out your placement guide first. Now for this part of the design, you'll be stitching underneath the hoop. So we stitch underneath the hoop first, then remove the hoop, turn it over, good side facing out, hold that for me, tape it in place so that it doesn't move. If you find your stitches get really messy and tangly, 9 times out of 10 it's because your backing material is dragging on the needle plate. So maybe get some tissue paper or a piece of stabilizer and just tape it down over the top of that. It tends to go like that when you've been using your machine quite a lot during the day. It's because the needle plate's got warm, and when the needle plate gets warm and it goes onto the vinyl, it makes it sticky, so it drags. So helpful tip, put a little piece of tissue or stabilizer on there. Okay, so we're going to get back to this design. Now I'm going to stitch out the outline once more, then it's going to bring stitch out the window and the little slot to put your ID card in. Now that part is done, we need to cut through this. Now using the craft knife like we did before, just very carefully. Cut through. Okay, so now we're going to add the fold over flap. This flap, I've already cut them out. Here's one I made earlier. So it goes vinyl down, felt up, and it goes over the top of the box that you've just stitched down. Lower your needle into the flap, which will hold it in place while you get a bit of tape, and you tape it down. Now we're going to stitch this down. I'm going to remove the tape from here, from the top. I'm going to place another piece of felt over the top of it, like so, and stitch that down. The last step is adding the card slot to this part of the design. Now I would suggest that you trim this off now because it's a little bit trickier when you've put it all together. So I will find my little scissors. Where are they? There they are. Scissors, and trim that off now. Obviously you can trim it afterwards, but it doesn't really matter. It's just making my life a little bit easier, that's all. So I'm going to trim this off as well. Like so. Remove the tape. I don't want to remove this now. Get that little bit of tape off. Okay. So now we're going to put the card slot over the top, over this section here. Now you'll notice that the stitches don't go right the way to the end and meet here. This is for a particular reason. These stitches here will be cut off, so I tried to eliminate any like shadow stitching, so it will go from the top and it won't touch the bottom and it won't touch the sides. So what you need to do is you need to lower your needle into this far left corner and it will stitch down, around and up. It won't stitch across, because if it's stitched across then you'd lose your pocket down there. So yeah, so lay it over the top, lower your needle into the top left, the far left stitches, and add a little bit of tape to it just to make sure that it doesn't move when you're stitching. I'm going to put a little bit at the top as well. This is just the tape that I've just removed. Put it up there like that so I can keep my fingers out of the way, and I can stitch it down. bit of a thread break here. Just pull that down. Back it up a couple of steps. Let's go back to the corner. And I'll stitch that down again. Thread breaks are inevitable. Again, I've added some secret stitches down there just to stop the needle from going back into the middle and ripping everything that you've just done. So now the design is finished, all we need to do is cut it out and add the cam snap. So I'm going to do that right in front of you right now. Get my scissors. Where are they? There they are. Rip this clear plastic off. That's off. Now I'm going to cut it out. That's all done. In my bin. Handy having a bin right here, saves all of the threads and everything going on the floor. Okay, so this is done. You'll see that you have some bits and pieces that you need to tidy up around the back. That was where my thread broke. Trim them off, run a lighter over them, and the lighter literally melts the tails, the ends right in, which tidies it up no end. You need to cut this window out here, so just give yourself a little hole to get your scissors in, like so, and cut into each of the corners. If you cut into the corners, it gives you a sharper corner when you're cutting the whole thing out. It just saves you having like rounded corners. Doesn't look very nice. So what I'm going to do is just cut this off now. Some people use the scissors differently to me. I feel my way is the right way for me. You might find that you like it better going underneath. I don't. I like it better going on the top and the sharp point going underneath. I can feel where everything is then as I'm cutting. Right, so these bits are all done. All I need to do now is cut the holes using my hole punch. This is a revolving hole punch for leather work, but it's perfect because it's got all of these different sizes. I use it for absolutely everything that I do. So the holes are punched out now. Let's get some snaps. And now we're just going to add the snaps. So cap goes on the inside, poke it through your hole, lady part goes on the bottom, squidge down, that's in nice, and then cap goes on the top, male part on the top, squidge down. And that is done. You'll see that I've added a stitch line here. This is just so to give you, this is where it folds. It gives you a fold line, a crease line. But there you go. That's it. How long has that taken me? 27 minutes and 6 seconds. And we have a completed Elizabeth mini compact. hope you like it.